Hi, aloha, it's Ash Tart. Happy New Year, and I hope everything is well with you and yours, with your family, and your friends, and your household, and your job, and your twin flame, of course. We're doing a twin flame reading, and this is actually, I was just talking to the guides of the people who are going to be watching. They came to me before I started the video, and we were all kind of talking about what sort of video would really help you all right now. And they said the best thing that I could do would be a 2018 total energy reading. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a reading for all of 2018 for you and your twin flame and the energies between the two of you, just to see what will happen and how things could be. When I read cards, it's never like absolute set in stone. The future is so weird, right? There, as far as I can tell, there are many different branches for how things could be. And when we set our energy and our intention on one way, then that's the path that we go down. So when I do the reading, I suspect what will happen, that your guys might tell me differently, but I suspect what will happen will be that I will be reading the energy for how it is right now, and things could change depending on if you change your energy or they change their energy or other forces that are about put something new into the mix. But as of this moment, and fate and destiny and all those sorts of things that come into play, the way things are moving forward. I They had Mother Mary candles at the grocery store, so I have a Mother Mary candle here beside me. It smells really, really good, like amazing, so that's really nice. I'm using Sandra Ann Taylor's Oracle Energy cards for these readings. There'll be this one, and then I'm going to do a whole bunch for my patrons, because I owed you guys a bunch of readings. And so if you want to get those patron readings, you can sign up for a Patreon in the link in the description below. Okay, great. So your guys have told me that's all I need to say, so I can go ahead and get the show on the road. And so the way, because I'm a witch, I'm super pagan, even though I love Mary, I love Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the saints, and they love me and angels. I'm super, super, super pagan, so I tend to measure time in like seasons, seasons and moon cycles, but mostly seasons more than moon cycles, if I'm like totally honest. So what we're going to do is there'll be two winter seasons, right? The winter season that we're in right now, so it's first winter, and the winter season at the end of 2018, that'll be second winter. So first winter, spring, summer, fall, second winter. And we will see the energy in each one of those seasons and how things will turn out there. This lovely thing in front of me that I'm going to put the cards on is a painting I did a little while ago, and it was based off of another person's painting, so it's not original, but it was really fun to do. I went to one of those like wine and paint night sort of things, and discovered that paint and wine don't really mix. So towards the end, it got a little bit hard. Like the paintbrush was like, I guess it goes here. But at the beginning, it was like much easier to paint. But I liked it so much, I ended up getting a whole bunch of like canvases and paints. I was like, let me just start painting. I know my mission. So if you're a twin flame, you probably hear about like missions a lot, because it's super important. As far as I can tell, the way to get to your twin flame is to be in your mission, no matter what your mission is. And your mission is whatever, like you have to draw on your soul to actually do the work, right? Like we all can do all sorts of work just using our minds, just using our hands, just using interactions with other people, but there's not a lot of work out there for you in particular that's actually going to tap into your soul. And what happens, as far as I've been told, when you do that, is you actually blossom, open up, and allow everything else to touch into your soul's center as well, including your twin flame. So your mission is hugely, hugely, hugely important. And it's anything that taps into your soul. You have to like bring out your inner core self, maybe the self you don't want to show people, maybe the self that has been mocked or teased in the past. Or maybe you didn't experience any of those things, but you just haven't really gone deeply enough into your soul, and so you might need just some exploration. But that is super key to being with your twin flame. If you're not doing your mission, your purpose, your union is not going to work, is what they're telling me right now. Oh, and thank you all for your well wishes about my coughing. Last time I did the videos for you, I was like super sick. So, and just talking about it made me cough, but I'm not really doing that anymore. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And also, Bakia sent me a link about like the throat chakra because I was coughing so much, and that was really awesome. So I super appreciate you for that. And for you guys, if you want to work one-on-one with me, I'm mostly doing healing and energy work right now, but and not so much readings. But when you book me for healing or energy work, then stuff comes up for your reading as well. So information will come up. Alright, this is interesting. So I pulled for first winter, spring, summer, fall, second winter. And spring, summer, fall are all reversed cards. So let's see what lies under these cards. They say look under the deck. Okay. About this one. Alright, interesting. And this one. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, and the way I read isn't based on any particular spread. It's based on what your guides are literally telling me to do. So I just, pull the cards in accordance to how the energy is in this room at this moment with your guides, and then they tell me, hey, turn this over. If you want to read like that, the key is like actually shamanism work. So if you want to be more in tune with your guides, more in tune with the spirits the way that I am, if you see my other readings too, or worked with me one-on-one, shamanism work is the key, really. There's a lot of traditions out there that will teach you kind of, like we were just saying, like from your mind and from your hands and muscle memory, here's how you do this work. But there's very few traditions out there, except for shamanism, that will actually take you into the spirit plane, which is the important thing. That's the part that we actually need for, if you're doing this sort of work, for you to be familiar with the spirit plane and not just going through the motions, which is good. You get a lot of information that way, but you might not get, maybe not from a core soul place. Okay, so what are they saying? Oh, they're also saying one overarching card for the year, which is going to come from the bottom. 2 cards, 3 cards from the bottom of the first winter. All right. So overarching for the year. Interesting. Well, we have the sun first. And the sun is, joy and incredible joy. Like, incredible joy. Everything working out beautifully. That's overarching for the year. There's 2 more cards, true, but one card is overarching joy, everything working out really well. Really no reason to fret anymore. They're saying the worst is behind us now. The worst is behind us. There's nothing to fear, not really. Nothing to worry over, not really. Nothing to be anxious over at this point, not really, not truly. Not like it was 2 years ago, they're saying. 2 years ago, you were really deeply in that worry, anxiety, and fear. And now things are going to clear up this year. The second card is number 51, Healer of the Ages, reversed. Here's how it is right side up. Looks a lot like Jesus, our main man, right? One of the twin flame himself. It's reversed. And what this is telling me is actually telling me that your martyrdom is over. So if you've been sacrificing yourself a lot for people, if you've been sacrificing your happiness for other people, for other causes, if you've been sacrificing your love, like, oh, I can't love now, I'll love later because, you know, this person needs me or this thing needs me or I have to do this, I have to bleed out for this, that all of that's over. So your martyrdom period is completely done as of this year. And there's still going to be like little threads that are coming up here and there as you totally get it all out of your system and really put yourself first and foremost, which is necessary to reach your union. And then the third card is the Thinking Man, number 46. And here's how it is right side up. It's this guy looking at a crystal, right? So this is saying to me for your entire year that it's going to be time in 2018 to depend on your intuition more than your logic. Depend on your feelings and your soul calling and what's inside of you, which you probably have already been getting signs about, that it's time to depend more on those things, more than trying to figure things out logically and say, well, logically, what's my next step? Because this year is like much more plunged in spirit, is what they're saying. And so there's a saying like the best laid plans of man go amiss or something like that. And which is basically just saying, in an overarching view, if a person makes like a really good solid plan, the universe can have other plans, right? Which we've all learned over the years, but this year especially is going to be one of those years where it's like, you know, don't make a plan, like just come from here and go out from there. So that's the overarching energy. Okay, great. Interesting. They're kind of telling me to start at the end of the year. Not sure why, but we're going to do that. We're going to start at the end of the year and then come back up to the beginning. Maybe it'll make sense as I go. So at the end of the year, in the second winter, we have these two cards. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, and the Thinking Woman, number 47. Okay, I understand why they had me do that now. Because this is not how we want our year to end up. This is not how we want our year to end up. And like I said, I'm reading the energy as it is right now. And if you change something, if your twin or the other forces change something, it changes. But if we're coming from here, from our intuition, we have to consciously go in the direction that we want to go in. So let's start with the Thinking Woman, right? I see a woman alone. And whether you're masculine or feminine, male or female, or third gender, or whatever side you're on in your partnership, you don't want to see this card right now, the way I'm interpreting it, as a woman alone, a person alone, right? Because we don't want that. At the end of 2018, we want union to have happened somewhere in here, right? We want to have had union. We want to have had everything has come together beautifully. Everything's in harmony. We have our soul groups together, our soul families. We're doing our soul work. We are joyful and abundant and harvesting everything that we need. And the other card is going to be familiar to a lot of you, fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. This is the heart chakra. The color is green. And the heart chakra is all about being open to love. And if this is at the end of the year, this is saying that you still didn't, for this entire year, based on where your energy is right now, you still did not fully open up to love. You still did not fully balance out into like full divine open love. So the rest of the cards are going to tell us, I think, why that didn't happen, and then we can figure out how to shift the future and get actually to where we want to be. Fall. So in fall we have the world reversed. It's kind of a gnarly symbol. And at the bottom of the deck for fall we had community. Here it is, up, right side up. And under that, it was already right side up, sorry. Was it? I don't remember, I have to rewind later, but under that we have the temple path. I don't have my glasses on, that's why I can't quite see what's on the screen. And underneath that we had door to value. Alright, so fall. Fall starts off ominously. The world reversed. Let me be frank with you guys and ladies and third gender people. In a lot of my other readings, I've talked about how you're needed and the world needs you. And a lot of my other readings have also talked about how you haven't been doing your mission, and without you, the world is going to fail. The world, right? So what's going on energetically on the planet is, well, we do have someone in the White House, and whether you're a Democrat or Republican, doesn't really matter. This person is very chaotic. And anyone can see that. He's a very chaotic person. And he's created a lot of chaos out from there. And this is saying by fall of this year that that kind of culminates and something very bad happens on the planet. It might not be directly related to him, but he's an energetic symbol of what is happening, if that makes sense, right? Like you start to see, like if someone has an illness of some kind, you might see little rashes or boils before it actually becomes really bad, and then they're vomiting, and then they're like, you know, they go into a coma and then they die, right? Like stages of progression. First is like little rashes and stuff, and then like 4 stages later they're dead. And so the president in the White House is an energetic symbol, kind of like the rashes or the vomiting, of the deeper truth going on in the world. And the deeper truth going on in the world requires you to be in community with people sharing your sacred gifts, right? And it is very lucrative for you. You make a lot of money. For some of you, this is saying that this is the reason that you haven't gone on your path, is because you're actually scared of success, right? It's a thing that happens. We can be scared of failure. We can be scared of success. You're scared of success. You're scared of actually having all of the abundance and wealth and what happens after that. But what your guides are telling me is to kind of shut that out, right? Shut out the fear. Don't worry about the worst that could happen when you become successful. Focus on your sacred work, right? And your friendship with people that can only find you when you're doing your mission. They can only find you when you're fully in your power, fully in your energy. Summer 2018. It's like really intense so far, right? Okay, so underneath the deck we had Angel of Love, which is nice, right? And the card I pulled for it was Financial Constraints Reversed. So this is saying to me that by summer, whatever financial constraints you've been having, and not only financially, but anywhere that you feel lacking. There's something holding you back. There's like some sort of door that can't fully be open because you don't feel like you just have what you need to open the door, is what they're saying. So by summer, that door, you get the key to the door to fully open it, and your financial constraints fully end. By summer, your guides are saying to welcome that in, to allow that and not to fight it. Angel of love, and then underneath that we have action, and then underneath that we have victory, right? So I'll show you these cards a little more closely. Angel of love, right? And then action, and victory. So in my previous reading, I did say that there are going to be a lot of unions between March and May of this year. And this is saying that by summer that you have all come into union. They're saying if not like directly, at least you have, like, the path is there. All right, so the path is there, and you know the path to walk to get into your union. And you've gotten there by taking action on what you love. So they're saying it does have to do with the person that you love the most, your twin, right? And they're saying that the key with your mission, the key with your sacred work that's like really needed on the planet, right, the sacred work, is that it does lead you to your twin. It's kind of a double key scenario is what they're saying. On the one hand, it taps into your soul, and on the other hand, it taps into their soul as well. So as you do your mission, you're tapping into both people's souls. Both people are awakened by you taking the action, right? It's like the most sacred sort of witchcraft, right? When you're doing magic, it takes action, right? I do magic for a lot of people, which is my pleasure to do. And when I do it, I can't just sit there and be like, okay, this person's life is fixed because I said so. I actually have to take action. I have to light out all my candles. I have to put out my stones. I have to put out my ritual stuff. I have to say the chants. I have to cast the circle and make the magic, right? It takes an action. So action is very sacred, very significant, and it does lead to your victory. It does. And the card underneath that, the Angel of Strength, is saying you are strong enough to do your mission. You're strong enough to do the action that leads you to your love, to take the action out of love that is needed. And for some of you, you might be worried because you can't see or understand how your mission can lead you to financial freedom. But this card is here to remind you, to reassure you that you don't have to worry, that you are actually being led out of whatever bondage you've been experiencing by taking action on your mission. Spring. Okay. So the card I put down was Caring Connections Reversed. And the card at the bottom of the deck was Anxiety. And the card underneath that is Indecision. Okay. So this is saying a couple of different messages. I got like 3 distinct messages, and I'll just tell you each one. If it resonates with you, then that's your message. For some of you, this is saying that either a non-aligned relationship that you are in, or that your twin is in, or each of you, if you're each in relationships, that's not aligned with your soul's desire and your twin soul desire, that those relationships will crumble by the spring and they will no longer be a factor. And to be prepared for that, because some of you have put all your eggs in one basket with this relationship, or if it's a relationship your twin has been in, there's like some repercussions that you haven't really considered. You might have been praying and hoping they would like leave this other person, and by spring that will have happened, but for most of you. But the problem is that, heartbreak is still heartbreak. And if someone leaves someone they love, even if it's not their twin or is left by them, they're still going to feel pretty shitty about it, right? The anxiety card. They're still going to feel unready to love, and they're still going to want to shut you out, or not really understand what the right direction is for them. Okay, so that's the first message. The second message is, for some of you are very impatient. um, and you are kind of like, I'm kind of over this whole twin thing. I'm ready to just like move on. And I'm just watching this video right now just because I was curious to see if there's anything else there. But I'm inside my soul, inside my heart, I'm kind of like over it. And I just want to like move on and find someone that's actually who I want. And this card is cautioning you that because of the nature of 2018, it's a very spirit-led year. If you start a non-sacred relationship, right, with another person, it's pretty much doomed to fail. And you don't really have any other option now but to do a sacred relationship, something that's blessed by your soul and by the other person's soul, where you're working on your mission, on your divine path, and doing your divine work with a community that loves you. And your guys are saying this is the reason that you're here. The reason you're here is not to simply couple up with someone, even if it feels great, and buy property together and get a car together and all that great stuff, right? That's not the reason you're here. The reason you're here is to tap into your soul and the soul of another person who is very sacred, and to bring something very beautiful to light. And these are all keys for how you do it. But we can get impatient, and we can get frustrated, and we can get angry at circumstances and how things have happened and how life has been so unfair, and so on and so forth. But regardless, this is a spirit-led year, and the universe is not going to allow you to be in a poor relationship from this year forward. So by spring, it will be very much putting the foot down. Okay, that's the second message. If that resonated with you, that was your message. The third message I got was talking about just having faith. Having faith, right? So that's like a really difficult subject, faith. Because how do we have faith? How do we have faith in a world where we might see our twin and they might like brush us off, give us a cold shoulder again, and then we get all these signs in our soul and we feel a telepathy, and it's like, well, I'm supposed to do some sort of sacred path with you, and I just have to have faith in that's going to happen. But regardless of what I'm feeling, the outside world is not mirroring what I'm feeling, and so I just don't, there's no way to have faith, right? If the world is showing you something other than what you want. And your guides are saying this is actually due to two things. One is anxiety, right? So they're saying specifically, we see what we want to see. And that might sound batshit crazy, because it might be like, well, of course I want to see my twin love me. Of course I want to see things work out. But do you really? And this is like some weird inner psychology sort of stuff, right? Where like inner child and like subconscious sort of things, where you have to take the time to go into there's like what you're thinking and feeling on the surface, and then there's what you're thinking and feeling inside. And sometimes they clash. And if you are thinking and feeling one thing, but the world is showing you something else, it's because the two things are clashing and they're not mixing together. So your inner world is not matching your outer world. And perhaps in your inner world, you are very hateful or judgmental or very fearful, anxious, you know, and all of those things are mirroring your desires. You're not just having feelings out of nowhere, you're having the feelings that mirror your desires. And your feelings, your guides are saying, are showing you truly what you actually want. So the world is showing you what you actually want, and your feelings are showing you what you actually want. Meditation is so helpful in getting in touch with your feelings, and also journaling. I recommend free form journaling a lot, just taking like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 to write for as many pages as you want. Like with a pen and paper is the most effective. And just write things out and don't worry about what you're writing. But the point of that is to get to like the bottom, past all the surface thoughts, that's who you think you are, to get to the source of what you really are. And once you get there, you have to accept that what you're thinking and feeling is what you're thinking and feeling. Okay, so that's all 3 messages for spring. And if I was doing a one-on-one reading, I would ask you, do you have any questions? And then you say, yes, I do have a question. Maybe. We'd like go back and forth, and it'd be like, no, I don't have any questions. And I'd be like, are you sure? I'd be like, actually, I was wondering, when you were talking about winter, and how, at the end of the year, that's not where we want to be. How do I make sure that doesn't happen, that I'm not alone, that they're not alone? Okay, so then we come to where we are right now, first winter. The card we have is walking away. And your guides are saying it's really important for you to walk away from what's not serving you. It's really important for you to walk away from what is not serving you. And that's how you avoid all of the heartbreak and strife and all of the not getting what you want. That's how you avoid the alone person at the end of the year, and the heart chakra not being open at the end of the year. Because your guides are saying, when we choose what does not serve us, you have to kill yourself every day that you do that. There's a part of yourself that cannot live because you're choosing something that is not in alignment with yourself. You're not choosing yourself, right? And the card, we had this card at the beginning, the Master Healer reversed, right? That was saying martyrdom is over this year. There's no more sacrificing yourself for other people, other causes, other things that are not in your highest interest. This year is about being true to who you are and what you need. And that's how you open up your heart chakra, right? That's how you open up to love. That's how you open up to being in your highest everything, by just choosing yourself. So your guides are asking me to ask you right now, can you think of 3 things on the top of your head that you are choosing that's hurting you, right? And it could be anything, people, situations, situationships, right? And you can pause the video and write them down. Go ahead and write them down, and then after the video is over, go back and look at those things and figure out now, while we're at the beginning of 2018, before the world has gone all the shit in the fall, which can only be saved by you, figure out now how you can not have those things in your life anymore, how you can walk away, how you can free yourself. Right? Take off the chains, let loose of any bondage. You're not attached, you're not bound to anybody, you're not here to save anybody, right? You're here to be saved. You're here to be loved, you're here to be cherished. You're here to be adored and to be in community and to do your fullest, finest work. In soul community, right? Sacred community. So this is the time. 2018 is the year that starts with you walking away from everything that does not serve you and walking into a new life that is abundant, full, fun, free, and full of love. All right, many blessings to you. I'm gonna go start the Patreon readings now. And again, if you want those extra readings, you can go ahead and subscribe at the bottom, starting at $10. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye.